Shout out to the mod creator TacoWasa059. I have put the links in the description. Imagine the very basic premise of Slither.io. Those who have played will know that there is no way to stop in that game. You can move left or right, you can control where your snake goes, but there is no way to stop it. That is this mod in a nutshell. I am a snake that can be moved left or right, but is incapable of moving backwards and can only go forward. And that is what I will be beating the game with. Now, as you will see, I do use keep inventory, unfortunately. I do change the game rule before creating the world, which does not count as using cheats according to the game logic. I don't really know why, but whatever. I will defend myself by saying that this isn't the first time I've tried this challenge, it is my third, and my previous failed attempts have led me to believe that the only possible way I could physically get myself to do this is by keeping my inventory after each death, because finding my dropped items quickly proved to be just completely impossible. Alright, that's enough rambling. Let's begin.
Spawning into a new world, the first step is to always get wood. But in my case, that requires a couple extra steps. After acquiring the wood, my next step was to find food and perhaps locate a village. Thankfully, with my situation, acquiring food was not going to be much of a problem. Locating a village was quite simple. As a showcase of my power, here is me attempting to kill the iron golem. Despite my gaffe, you can still see how powerful the snake's body is. But as I get deeper into this playthrough, there will be some surprising limitations that prove that this snake is not the perfect specimen it is made out to be. With only the vague concepts of a plan, I decided the next best thing for me to do was to try and find another village and kill as many iron golems as I can. As night fell for the first time, I was able to successfully figure out how to use a bed, with interesting results. As you can tell, I was just kind of aimlessly wandering around trying to see what I can find, and just exploring. And I came across this pillager outpost. Knowing how powerful I am, I thought I could just take it on simply. Unfortunately, it wasn't so simple. It is in this claustrophobic crevasse that I met my demise for the first time of what would be many, many times. But it was within this death that I was given an opportunity to perhaps progress much further than I have ever gotten. After acquiring a decent amount of iron and enough food, the next stage of the journey is to head to the Nether. Since it would be impossible to build a Nether portal the speedrun way, I needed diamonds. Thanks to this massive cavern stretching to lava level, finding diamonds should be pretty simple. Now the only problem is getting all the way down to the bottom. So the plan is simple. I'm gonna jump down there and bucket clutch till I make it. Since this cave is right next to spawn, I'm gonna basically have a limited chance to do this. And when I finally make it, yeah, I'm not gonna set my spawn point because I just don't think that's gonna be worth my time. The fact is, this is so close to spawn that I kind of have to take this opportunity while I can. So here we go. Of course, I could never do it first try. Or the second time. I got pretty close on the third try. But on the fourth try, and thankfully, it did not take too long for me to find what I was looking for. Thanks to the power of Keep Inventory, I was able to safely return to the surface without much hassle. Alright, back to this. Sorry. So, I'm going to see if I can find a lava pool, one of the surface ones. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my spawn and place down the water bucket. I may die doing this because I can't stop moving, so that's kind of the difficult part here. But hopefully I get the lava, hopefully I get the obsidian, and when I do that, I'll be able to create the nether portal, in which I will do so at spawn. So I'm going to die again. There should be a lot of dying here. With double the amount of obsidian that I needed, it was a matter of simply returning to spawn in order to make the portal. After digging out what would essentially become my home, I went out to get flint in order to light the portal. After some last-minute preparations, it was time to see what the Nether had in store for me. Now we just gotta hope that we get a spawn where we don't immediately die. Here we go. About this one. Although the spawn point could have certainly been a lot worse, it certainly could have been a lot better as well. However, very quickly that would be the least of my concerns, as with how vertical the Nether landscape is, traversing it ended up being one of the most difficult challenges of this whole thing. It is also here where something rather weird happened. As you can see, the piglins seem to just simply not care about the tail that has destroyed every single mob it has touched in the overworld. Keep this in mind as we continue further into the Nether. As for my current predicament, I was actually able to get out of it. But I ran into a group of piglins, and unfortunately, did not last too long. On my second trip, I cornered myself to the edge of a cliff, and in a few moments was ultimately in the lava. I decided to spend some time in the overworld before my next trip to perhaps find a ruined portal and get some golden armor. This did not take too long. Thanks to the new sets of golden armor, traveling through the Nether on my fourth trip was a lot easier. Let's effing go. Alright, I don't know. For one, I don't know how I'm gonna get there. Oh, Jesus. Alright, I'll see y'all in a second. a nether fortress was located, pretty close to spawn as well. However, getting there would prove to be a challenge on its own. I got frustrated on this attempt. Goodness, you move so fast, you can't control yourself. It's like a car wreck. It's impossible. After essentially what amounted to stumbling around blindly and dying a few times, I was able to finally get back to the point where I saw the nether fortress, and now it was time to get over there. I think what I might have to do is get a god out. Because it's fire resistance, and I'm gonna move really fast in the lava. Make it over there in time? Oh, my armor's dead. I don't think I don't think I can wear it. I'll keep pushing onwards. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll place one at all. No, no, stop that. Oh my god. The controls are actively fighting against you because I don't know why it would do that. But legitimately, every time you hit something, you're gonna be redirected, and you can't stop it. It is here that happened with the piglin earlier. Let's test something first. Yeah, so I can't hit piglins. That is strange. Over here, I ran into some issues. Just go. Block clicking. I have to get up. Hit it? Yes. Yes! Yes. Okay. We've made it. And what I can do is that if I die, I can take these coordinates and multiply them by 8, and I can just put the nether portal over here. So that's probably going to be my next plan, because I expect to die. So, here we go. Can I kill a blaze and a wither skeleton? Says no. Yes, actually yes. Okay, hold on. You have to be really careful. You gotta hope they come down like that. Yes. Okay, he didn't drop any. But I can. Okay, there you go. I'm dead. So I can kill blazes. It has been confirmed. The fact that I was able to kill the blaze that one time with my tail would end up proving to be the biggest lie I was told by this game. But we will get to that in a bit. For now, I concocted a plan. I was going to use the remaining 10 obsidian within my inventory, and I was just going to simply make a nether portal here. And then I can take the coordinates of the overworld portal, and then I can bring everything over from my original home base over to the new coordinates of the nether portal in the overworld of my new home base. You understood all that, right? I would show you the process of me getting my stuff back, but all it really entailed was me dying and then traveling about 2,000 blocks to get over here. The whole process took about 20 minutes. I proceeded to dig out what will become my new home base. We have made it. I have set my spawn. I have acquired the tools that I've needed to acquire. The goal is quite simple now. Get the blaze rods. In terms of ender pearls, I plan on getting those in the overworld because, as you have saw all of them now, I do one-shot everything if I touch them. So killing endermen is going to be a breeze. I just need to find them, which shouldn't be too difficult at night. But the blaze rods, of course, with how the nether is a little bit sketchy. Yeah. So stalling a little bit. Just make sure spawn point is set. And yeah, let's go. We got all 8! It is done! I don't have to go to the nether anymore! It is done! It took 2 separate recording sessions and 100 dead snakes, but finally, I managed to get the 8 blaze rods that I needed. Now I know you only need 6 blaze rods to craft the necessary amount of Eyes of Ender to light the portal, but I wanted to be absolutely sure that I would not ever have to go back to the nether after I was done. So I wanted to make sure I had more than enough Eyes of Ender to make it to the stronghold, to light the portal, and to get to the end as quick as possible. As for acquiring the Ender Pearls, that grind was a lot more painless. But everything was going to be a lot more painless if I could actually kill things with my tail. This quirk of my tail being unable to interact with anything in the nether at all was still something I had absolutely no idea what could be the cause of. My leading theory at this point was that there was a mod conflict with perhaps some of the lightweight mod bug fixing mods that I was using. But I didn't want to change it. I was already this far in, so I decided to just go with it. For this grind in particular, the hardest part was just simply finding the Endermen and hoping you got the pearls. I was only able to spot around 6 or 7 Endermen per night, and with a 50% drop rate that felt a lot more like 30%, the most pearls I ever got in an actual night was 4. And a couple of times, I didn't get a single pearl at all, which really ticked me off. But eventually, as with all things in this challenge, I was able to persevere and get the 16 Ender Pearls that I needed to make all the Eyes of Ender, and finally get to the stronghold. It truly felt like I was in the endgame now. It has been done. Now it is time. I brought everything I wanted, everything I needed, and I left the nether portals behind, never to return to them again. I expected locating the stronghold would take a long time, but apparently I was already pretty close to the stronghold to begin with, and finding it was actually pretty much a breeze. I did lose some Eyes of Ender on the way there, which kind of justified me getting all the extra ones that I did, but I still had more than enough for when I actually finally got to the spot. I used the debug command here to reload all the chunks, which was F3 plus A, in order to see if I could kind of X-ray my way into finding the stronghold, because I didn't want to go through the process of locating the portal room, but my game ran too fast and didn't work, ironically. Navigating the stronghold as a snake ended up being quite simple. However, as you will see here, the stronghold generated pretty funky, and I ended up having to dig through some random walls, in order to find and reveal these rooms that I needed in order to locate the portal room. It didn't end up being too difficult, but it was a little bit of a mild inconvenience. Despite the best efforts of the stronghold itself, I was able to find the portal room. After clearing out the lava within the portal, placing the Eyes of Ender inside the frame was a little bit finicky, but doable. Alright, so I am in a creative world of the exact seed. I did this because this is exactly what I figured, that we would get an end spawn away from the main island, which means a couple things. It means that I either will have to teleport, or I will have to go into creative mode and build a bridge. Now, I do have 2 ender pearls in the survival world, so I'm hoping that I can just teleport, simply. F3, F4, survival, and now if I do there. Okay, we made it. The next problem is how to kill the ender dragon. 64, as well as experience. So it appears that the hit detection is quite nice in the end. So that should make this slightly easier. Discovered the way to cheat the end. I thought I was basically done. I thought all I had to do to beat the game was tower up one of the obsidian pillars and let the ender dragon run into my tail, and that would be it. No. Wait, no. What? No. It doesn't make any sense. Okay. Why would that happen, though? Ah! It's getting pissy at some minute. I'm down. Oh, brother, I think this is what I can do. Let's just build. Why does it do that? Oh, what? I had truly hit rock bottom, and in an act of desperation, thinking that maybe it was because my time in the world, somehow, the longer I went, the less effective my tail became, I copied the world. I took screenshots of both the stronghold coordinates and my inventory. I made exact copies of each. I gave myself 1 extra ender pearl It was the only thing I could think of. The only bit of hope I had left. I was going to beat the game in survival mode at any cost. Truly do not believe there is any other way I could do this. I will leave these final few minutes unchanged. I don't get it. I truly don't get it. In the end, the one thing I needed to get this far, I believe, was the only thing that prevented me from doing it legitimately. And that was keep inventory. Unbelievable.